This week, we sail into New York City and grab a mooring ball at 79th Street Basin, which puts us a short dinghy ride from downtown where we eat some epic food and experience Times Square at night. We also explore Central Park and check out Columbus Day Parade.
It's not fair, I don't see with my eye.
We're making it! We're going under a huge bridge. I should have looked at the name of it, but I don't know it. But it's pretty cool. It's got like this crazy curve to it. So we put out just a little bit of sail, just to give us a little bit more stability with the waves and all the wakes and stuff from the boats. And we got slightly more downwind speed, or slightly more speed in the direction we're trying to go, so that's nice as well. A little bonus. The wind is very shifty and we do have to turn reasonably often between the Hudson River that we're on. And we also just put out a little bit of the head sail because this head sail is a little bit bigger. It's nice to be able to see the logs on the river because there are quite a few in the way. So if we have the head sail completely furled out, we would kind of we'd have a bit of a blind spot on the one side. So we're gonna try to maybe adjust it and pull it up just a little higher to gain less of a blind spot. But for now, this is gonna work.
Great, but ketchup on his breakfast. Yeah.
It's so good with a little bit of ketchup, come on. Forgive me. We got awesome sausage and eggs and cheese, and we're getting really salty now. I don't know. If you've ever been in the ocean, you'll notice that when you make like a bit of waves, or when you see the waves, there's a lot of bubbles left behind. That doesn't really happen so much in the freshwater. So you can see the wake of our boat is actually making all of these nice little bubbles. And we also know we're almost in the ocean because there's New York City! It's pretty cool. We're gonna have some fun exploring around New York City today. But first, let's get some food into us.
We made it to New York, where we just got a mooring ball for the very first time. So that was a little exciting and stressful, but everything went smooth. And we're at the 79th Street Basin Marina. And initially we were just gonna anchor off to the side, but then we realized that just to take the dinghy over to the marina, for example, it's gonna be $26. And it's only $30 for the mooring buoy, and I mean it feels pretty safe here. We'll get to have a shower. And we're right downtown, like we're walking distance from Times Square, Central Park, and everything. So that's really exciting. We're like, the ocean is just over there.
and look at our view. We're dinging up current right now because it's pretty fast current. Woo! Going to the marina to pay for our mooring ball and grab a shower because we haven't showered in like a week. Nasty.
Two, all right. I just got to get his together first.
Oh yes, absolutely.
What do you got there?
I got a New Yorker hot dog. Oh yeah.
How is it?
It's really good. It's some onion sauerkraut and spicy brown mustard. Yum.
Anything like this.
After eating the famous New York hot dog, our first stop was Central Park. From our marina, it was only a 40-minute walk, perfect to stretch the legs. It's crazy to think that within this huge city, you can find 843 acres of nature. Trails lead you all around to different sites. There were so many people enjoying it on this warm fall day. Apparently it's the most visited urban park in the US, with about 38 million people per year. The green lush vegetation really contrasted with the skyscrapers backdrop. And if you're not into walking, you can be pulled by a horse or man or bicycle around. This was a perfect start to our Manhattan visit. I never would have guessed that one day I'd find myself in Central Park traveling by boat. We have our boat at the mooring ball and it's such a quick walk to get here. And it's so much bigger than I even expected. Like, you see it in the movies and it just looks big, but then you actually get yourself in it and you start walking around and it's humongous and so diversified. There's like fields and there's little ponds and people canoeing around. It's gorgeous. And there's even a show going on, I think.
Really?
One cannot experience downtown New York without the traffic. Let's just say we weren't really used to that many cars after 3 weeks on the Erie Canal and Hudson River.
Why did you always probably just
So we were totally just wandering around looking for some good street food, and we just realized that we were really close to the Empire State Building. And then we almost walked right by it because it's so tall that we didn't even realize we were walking beside the actual building. So that was really funny, actually. Luckily I looked at my Google Maps and figured it all out.
was so good. We saw a huge lineup at Joe's Pizza, and I was like, well, if there's a lot of people there, it's gotta be good. And we were talking with some people, and they told us we had to try it. It's like super famous in New York since 1975.
Passes your review.
And there you go. Welcome to Times Square.
Times Square was pretty overwhelming. Being one of the world's busiest pedestrian areas with 50 million per year, I felt small. It was constant navigation between all ethnicities. Imagine 330,000 people come here daily, with the busiest day being upwards of 460,000 people. It was nice to be able to experience it without spending a fortune. You can't get a hotel room for $30.
Over here. Squeeze together! Male bonding! Come on, guys, get in there. Get in there. Let's go. What the hell? What are you doing? Oh, right over there, buddy. Let's go, Bob Marley. He's that. You're gonna die. Where you from, man?
This place is craziness. I've never been in a city with quite so bright lights at night. All the signs just illuminate everything, and you don't even need lights because there's just so many colors and so much bright signs everywhere. So it's kind of neat. It's pretty different from any other place I've ever been before.
Hola, bienvenidos. Ya han venido
All those cups, I guess. What do we want? Do we want to try a bit of spicy? That's real spicy. It's very spicy.
This is such amazing tacos. I'm eating cactus. And it's so good. The flavors. Oh.
What do we got here? We got some really spicy and really spicy, mild, or medium, and then we already got mild on there. But yeah,
wow, so good.
I want to try a little piece of your cactus.
Oh, that was so good. The freshness and the flavors of everything. And it's kind of funny because we only found out about that place because we stopped at the famous pizza place, which we talked with some guys who told us where we should eat in New York. And gosh, it was perfect, perfect. Now I think we're gonna head back to the boat.
Let's go. So what do you think of your time here?
Wow, time in Times Square! It's pretty epic. Last time I was here was 9 years ago with my little sister Sarah. And it's just, it feels kind of cool to be back here and explore it during the nighttime as well. So gosh, it's like an overload of everything. There's just so much, so many smells, so many people doing crazy things, so much light. We are back at the 79th Street St Basin Marina. What an epic afternoon and night. We explored everything. Actually, not everything, there's so much to see. But my legs are pretty tired. We had a full day, so I think we're gonna dinghy back over to our boat, which is tied on a mooring ball. So let's do this.
Let's hop in. Ladies first.
Ladies first, thank you.
Sweet little dinghy storage here.
Oh, this is awesome. We've got to plug that hole. It's wet. So wet.
Let's do this. Feels really weird coming to our boat at night, but still being able to see it super clearly because of all of the light pollution. Everything is so bright around us. It's incredible. It's kind of cool. We don't even really need a light with our dinghy because I mean, we see everything just almost as bright as like a early morning or something.
That's such a good viewpoint.
You really should never judge a book by its cover. From the outside looking in, I never really thought I would ever want to come to New York City. I'm kind of opposed to larger cities typically and larger crowds, but this is just such an awesome city. I think it's now become one of my favorite cities now that I've had the opportunity to come here. So never just judge something before you've had a chance to experience it for yourself, because it could be so much more than what you actually think it is. So we're here exploring around Central Park, just along 5th Avenue. And thanks to Google, we found out that there's actually a Columbus Day parade going down 5th Avenue. And actually we didn't even really realize that it was Columbus Day because for us in Canada it's Thanksgiving, and when we were sailing and grabbing a mooring ball I was like, oh crud, it's probably not the best time to grab a mooring ball because it's going to be super busy, lots of wave action and stuff because it's a long weekend. And then we're like, oh no wait, never mind, they don't have long weekends for Thanksgiving in October, theirs is in November. So I was like, oh okay, well it won't be so bad at least on Monday. But it just so happens that it's Columbus Day and everybody seems to have it off anyway, which is awesome. And now we're gonna get to enjoy a really sweet parade that I've never actually gotten to see. So that's gonna be cool. So let's go check that out.
The parade kept on going for over an hour, with so many different floats and bands. Being Canadians, we had never experienced Columbus Day. Here they celebrate the landing of Columbus in America in 1492 and the Italian-American heritage.
Oh mia bella amore.
It's a rough spot for our dinghy. It's gonna be an interesting ride out.
We should have a bit of an eddy behind the boat though.
So this is a little nerve-wracking. We were rocking and rolling at our mooring ball, and so we kind of made the decision to try to go over to the anchorage by the Statue of Liberty. It is supposed to die down a little bit tomorrow by this evening, and we weren't really very comfortable, and I knew I wasn't going to sleep well. We might not sleep well there either, but at least we'll have a different view, and I'm hoping it'll be worth it. Fingers crossed everything goes okay. I think we're gonna pull out a little bit of our jib once I get over to the other side and hopefully stabilize ourselves a little bit more. But there's some pretty serious pretty serious waves here just from the wind. I think the wind forecast is a little bit off for what they were forecasting, because they're only forecasting like 15 knot gusts, and this seems like quite a bit more.